Shane Watson, and today I'm going to be talking about my T20 bowling checklist. And it all starts with the grip. So for me, I was an outswing bowler. The brand new ball, I had quite an extreme angle of my seam to be able to then get my fingers behind the ball to get it to swing away. So my seam angle would be pointed to about gully. And then for my variation, to be able to swing the ball in, again, it would be pretty extreme. My seam angle would be going towards fine leg, and again, getting my fingers to go down the back of the ball so the seam angle is going towards fine leg. And then my other variations, my off-speed balls. So the simplest technique that I used was, for both my leg cutter and my off cutter, was actually putting all of the energy on my middle finger. So I'd take all the weight and energy out of my index finger. I wouldn't stick it up because I don't want the batsman to know that I'm bowling my variation, my change of pace, but I'd keep it with hardly any weight on the ball at all. And then for my leg cutter, all I'd do is just all the weight on that middle finger and then cut down the inside of the ball and cut it down the side of the ball as fast as I could. My off cutter, I'd actually put my thumb slightly on the inside of the seam there to be able to just feel like I got a bit more grip to be able to then again cut down on the inside, on the outside of the ball with all of my energy through that middle finger. And to be able to then just adjust the speed that the ball comes out of your hand, you stick it in a bit deeper into your hand, or it comes out a little bit more to your fingertips. So if you want it to be a bit slower, even come out slower, you'd hold the ball in deeper and again still go on those variations. The second aspect to my T20 bowling checklist is feeling really tall. So at the top of my mark, as I'm about to run in, I'm trying to run as tall as I possibly can. One, so then I'm not overstriding, I'm not loading up my hamstrings and calves, which I had in the past. But the other thing is, if you're feeling tall in your run-up, then once you actually get to the crease, you're making the most out of your height that you've got to be able to try and get as much bounce as you possibly can. So in my mind, at the top of my mark, I'm thinking about make sure that I'm feeling really tall in my run-up and at the crease. The third part to my T20 bowling checklist is my run-up speed. And the run-up speed was really important for me to be able to understand if the ball was coming out a little bit fuller than I was wanting it to. A lot of the time, it actually meant that I was running in too fast. I had too much momentum in my run-up and through the crease. That's why I actually didn't enjoy bowling down breeze and downhill, because I had to, it was a real challenge to be able to try and get the right length of the ball going through the top of the stumps. The other aspect is if I was running in a little bit too slow, and then I'd get to the crease, I'd be pulling down a bit too hard, and that would just naturally drag the ball a little bit shorter than what I was hoping. So my run-up speed, if the ball's coming a bit full, run-up might be running in a bit too fast. I'm bowling the ball a little bit too short than what I'm hoping. Again, I might be running it a little bit too slow. So that's the importance of the run-up speed. The fourth component to my T20 bowling checklist is the angle of my run-up. So it sounds so simple, but for me, if I'm bowling a little bit wider than what I'm hoping for, then I'll actually, if I'm bowling to a right-handed batsman, I'll move my run-up a little bit wider, just to be able to, without changing anything else, still running in a straight line. My angle of my run-up is just that little bit, so I can actually get in closer to the stumps, going through the off stump of the batsman without really changing much at all. And then this is what Dennis Lilly taught me, which is so simple, to be able to just adjust your line to be able to bowl to a left-handed batsman as a right-handed bowler. So what I do at the top of my mark, I actually move my run-up, I move my mark about a metre wider, and then all I do is just run from that angle straight through to the off stump of the left-handed batsman. And I don't change anything in my action at all, but just because of that angle, that change of angle in my run-up, it meant that I could easily change that line that I'm bowling to a left-hander without changing anything with my technique whatsoever. The fifth part of my T20 bowling checklist is my alignment. And my alignment has all got to do with being able to protect my body so I don't get injured. So for me, had a lot of back injuries through my whole career, and a big part of that was being out of alignment. So for me, I was a side-on bowler. So alignment means making sure that my back foot as I land at the crease was side on. And then my shoulders were also side on as well. So my front shoulder, and I was actually looking through this part of my arm. So that was really important to make sure my alignment was right, so I wasn't loading up my lower back, my side, more than I needed to. So, and there's different types of techniques. So one aspect is being semi front on. So as you land, your back foot is at a 45 degrees angle to the crease, and your front arm is slightly open. And then front on is your back foot really going like straight through the crease and your front shoulder very open. But you just want to make sure that your alignment is right every single ball, and that comes down to looking after your body as much as you possibly can. So the last aspect of my T20 bowling checklist is my follow through. So my follow through, I just wanted to make sure that one, my head was going right towards my target. So my head was going, if I'm bowling to a right-handed batsman, my head was going straight through to the off stump, and that I was following through just on the inside edge of the pitch that I was playing on. The length of my run-up was also really important, because I wanted to make sure that I was pulling down and then following through and allowing the energy to be able to actually like slow down and dissipate. Whereas when I wasn't potentially bowling that well and loading up other parts of my body, I would pull down and then I'd actually only just like follow through for about 2 or 3 steps. So the length of my follow through was really important, going down about halfway down the wicket, but then also the line of my follow through. So I didn't want to be pulling away and going way off the wicket. I wanted to make sure that my head was going straight towards off stump and just coming off to the edge of the pitch that I was playing on. Well, I hope you enjoyed my T20 fast bowling checklist. And if you'd like to find out any more tips or insights from the inner sanctum, go to t20stars.com right now.